We walk through life surrounded by illusions. Illusions of strength, of control, of purpose. Yet beneath the surface, the mind trembles, shackled by its weakness. We who follow the path of the Stoics do not seek comfort in falsehoods. We seek to forge a mind of iron, impervious to the chaos of the world. A weak mind is the greatest enemy, for it enslaves itself, clings to fleeting emotions, and surrenders to the storms of life. But for those who dare to see, who dare to confront their failings, the truth is as clear as day. The mind can be trained. Strength is a choice. These are the 6 signs of a weak mind. 6 chains that must be broken if we are to rise above the mediocrity of the untrained soul. Each one is a stumbling block to wisdom, a weight upon the soul, preventing it from soaring toward true greatness. Let us examine them in depth, and in doing so, take our first step toward liberation. 1. Emotional volatility, the slave to passion. A weak mind is one ruled by emotions, anger, fear, envy, despair. Like a candle in the wind, it flickers with every change in fortune. Seneca warns us, a mind that is anxious about future events is miserable. The fool rages at the world, blaming others for his suffering. The wise man, the Stoic, stands unmoved. He does not surrender to the waves of emotion, but rides them with discipline. He knows that external events have no power over him. Only his perception does. To be governed by emotion is to be a slave. To master the mind is to be free. Emotions, when unchecked, become tyrants. They push men into folly, making them lash out at others, regret their words, and drown in self-pity. The Stoic does not suppress emotions, but understands them. He studies them as a scientist studies nature, dissecting their causes and redirecting their energy. He knows that every moment of anger is a wasted moment of clarity. Every burst of fear is a failure to trust reason. Every envious thought is an admission of personal inadequacy. The weak mind is ruled by these forces, but the strong mind rises above them. True control over emotions comes through rigorous self-examination. A Stoic does not wake up and surrender to his emotions. He begins each day by fortifying his mind. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love." A mind that contemplates its place in the vast cosmos does not crumble over petty grievances. The weak complain about insults and seek revenge, but the wise understand that their peace of mind is their own responsibility. Strength is found in knowing that no one else has the power to disturb your soul unless you grant them permission. 2. Dependence on external validation. The prison of opinion. A weak mind seeks approval, fearing rejection more than it fears dishonor. It is a prisoner of the crowd, molding itself to fit the expectations of others. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinions than our own." The strong mind follows its own path, guided by reason, not the applause or ridicule of the masses. A true Stoic is indifferent to praise and blame, for both are the voices of the ignorant. The fool lives for admiration and validation, but admiration is fleeting, and validation is an illusion. One day he is praised, the next he is scorned. The wise man, however, walks his path without looking over his shoulder. He does not let compliments swell his pride, nor let insults wound his spirit. He knows his worth is not dictated by the opinions of others, but by the strength of his character. A Stoic measures his progress by his virtue, not by his reputation. Be content with what you are and wish not to change. nor dread your last day, nor long for it, said Marcus Aurelius. This mindset liberates the soul from the shackles of society's expectations. If you find yourself constantly craving validation, ask yourself, who truly owns your mind? If it is dictated by others, you are not free. The goal is to be unshaken, to cultivate an internal compass that guides your actions regardless of the opinions of the ignorant. 3. Fear of hardship, the cowardice of comfort. A weak mind recoils from discomfort, choosing ease over growth and safety over the challenge. It fears pain, failing to see that adversity is the only forge of strength. Epictetus teaches us, difficulties are what show men's character. The Stoic does not seek hardship for its own sake, but he does not shy away from it. He embraces difficulty as the grindstone that sharpens his soul. The fool prays for an easy life. The wise man prays for the strength to endure a hard one. A comfortable life is a stagnant life. Growth demands suffering, but suffering shapes men into warriors. The Roman general Cato, a devout Stoic, would deliberately walk barefoot in the cold and wear simple clothing to train himself in discomfort. He understood that weakness comes from indulgence. By deliberately facing hardship, he prepared himself for any misfortune. Do you shrink from struggle, or do you embrace it? That is the question that determines your fate. 4. Attachment to the uncontrollable, the fool's delusion. A weak mind obsesses over what it cannot change. It mourns the past, dreads the future, and clings to fleeting things. It does not grasp the truth. Control is an illusion. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Marcus Aurelius declares, the wise understand that only their own thoughts and actions belong to them. The rest is fate. And fate is not to be mourned. It is to be accepted with quiet fortitude. The one who laments over lost opportunities, broken relationships, or past failures is chained to a ghost. The Stoic accepts reality as it is, neither resisting nor despairing over what cannot be undone. A weak mind resents fate. A strong mind dances with it. Life will bring ruin and tragedy, but these are merely conditions of existence, not personal attacks. The way to overcome suffering is to embrace the present moment without expectation, without attachment. 5. Excuses and blame, the refuge of the incompetent. A weak mind seeks excuses, whereas a strong mind seeks solutions. It blames fate, luck, and circumstance for its failings. It avoids responsibility. But a true Stoic knows that the only enemy lies within. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts, Marcus Aurelius wrote. Blaming others is a surrender. Taking ownership is power. The strong do not waste time pointing fingers. They rise and act. If your life is in disarray, it is because of choices you have made, knowingly or unknowingly. This truth is harsh, but it is also liberating. Once you accept full responsibility for your actions, you realize that you alone possess the power to reshape your fate. The Stoic asks, what can I do today to be better than I was yesterday? The answer to that question is what separates the weak from the strong. 6. Inability to be alone, the fear of the self. A weak mind cannot bear solitude. It flees from silence, drowning itself in distractions to avoid the one thing it fears most, introspection. The Stoic, however, thrives in solitude. Seneca advises, now is the time to cultivate your mind, when it is free from distractions, when it is left to its own devices. The mind that cannot be alone is a mind that does not know itself, and to not know oneself is the greatest weakness of all. The path to strength. Strength is forged in discipline. It is earned in the fires of struggle, in the rejection of comfort, in the mastery of the self. If you recognize weakness within you, do not despair. Weakness is not a life sentence. It is a challenge. Choose strength. Choose mastery. Choose the Stoic path.